The Saints against the Seahawks were outplayed, outmanned, outcoached, out everything as they lost the game 48-10. But hopefully that doesn't mean that they quit for the rest of the season. For the Saints, it was very interesting how they tried to change their approach to me early in this game. On the first drive of the game, they get the ball at the 50 or to the 50 with a couple small passes. Their bread and butter with Rattler. They get to a 4th and 2. He actually misses a 3rd and 2 little pass. And then on 4th and 2, Kellen Moore goes ultra aggressive. They go for it. They don't get it. Immediately, the Seahawks go right down the field. And then they actually have an opportunity to get it. They have a 3rd down that they don't convert. And then a wild Saints play where Breece headbutts someone. That changes the whole drive. Now the Seahawks go down and score a touchdown. And it seemed like from that moment on, just nothing was working. 7-0, the Saints tried to go for a tush push. They false started, luckily, but they didn't get that either. Kellen Moore finding that it's not just the play. You need also the players to run it. And Spencer Rattler, not quite that guy. And then the special teams just happened. And Jay Harbaugh just dogged whoever the Saints special teams coach is. They were getting abused. Punt return touchdown from Torrey Horton. That was huge to put them 14-0. Then you get a blocked punt when the Saints try to revert back to playing a chill game. That ended up being 21-0. And from that point, the Saints, a lot of teams aren't built to come back from down 21-0. But if we had a draft on the worst team to come back in that situation, I think the Saints are number 1. They have Olave, who's cool, but you need someone to throw him the ball. Kamara, he's getting a little older, and, he can't single-handedly come down from 21-0 anymore. It was just an ugly day, and for the Saints, it's kind of one or two options, right? To me, do you keep fighting hard? Do you keep trying? Do you show, what do you want to improve, though? You have Spencer Rattler, you kind of know what he is. Do you play Tyler Schrow? Because when you're 0-2 and you lose a game like this, the team can quit at some point. You know what I mean? Now, you don't want to finish the season without any wins. I don't think they're going to quit the entire season. But now there's the eternal belief, all right, we talked about the playoffs. We talked about this, that, and the other in training camp and what our goals were. And it's the first couple of weeks, that's cool. You fought, you played close. But this week, to just get shellacked like that. Now, they were on the road in Seattle, but to just get the doors blown off of them like that, not a great sign. And I don't really know where they can go from here. They could start Schrow, but I don't think he's going to be better than Rattler. I think they just got to, if I'm being honest, tank. Now, they should tank. Now, one of the things that was really a concern that didn't happen for them the other weeks as much was just a lot of penalties. They were false starting as well early in the game. But it's tough to get a read on your team when you have crippling turnovers like we saw in the Bengals with their 5 turnovers, or when you have special teams plays like in this game where 2 of them go for 14 points. Now, we did see a lot of field goal blocks yesterday, huge field goal blocks all across the league. But when you have those types of things going on, you kind of got to question, should they just tank? Should they just say, fuck it? This team stinks. It does stink. They fought to stay close in those couple of games. That was cool and cute and all that fun stuff. But and I don't even know if you want to go quarterback, based on what we're seeing. They need to build a team. This team has been getting old for years. They played a lot of veterans to try to hit their little window of remaining a relevant playoff team toward the tail end of the Sean Payton era, toward the beginning of the Dennis Allen era, and now all of that's coming home to roost. You don't really have a lot of young talent where you need them in positions, and their O-line and D-line can't dominate. There's a lot of problems here, and it really got exposed in that special teams. Could be coaching, but But that's where, you know what I mean, your worst players are going to play. And the Saints special teams looked completely out. They let up another return, go to the 40. They were completely outmanned on special teams. Completely. And you don't really see that a lot. You don't. In Seattle, they have one of the best GMs in the league, and John Schneider, and you can see all the talent. The 5th-round rookie, Horton, was the one who took the punt return for a touchdown. But I mean, for the Saints, I think that's the main question. Like, where do you go from this? Now you're 0-3, and at least before you're like, all right, we're fighting, or maybe we're improving. These are tight games. Now you just get smoked, and it's like, man, like nothing positive, I don't think, came out of this game for the Saints. I got to be completely honest. Unless they want to tank. And if that's what they want to do, then they definitely got something positive. Next week, the Saints go, and golly, they play the Bills, so they're going to get smoked again next week. After that, you get the Giants, Patriots, Bears. I think that's where they got to get their win. You know what I mean? But you got to be careful, right? Like, they play a lot of bad teams. They play the Jets, Titans, I saw up there. There's a lot of bad teams on the schedule. But the Saints might be the worst team in the league. And at this point, you might have to really consider just tanking. Maybe not at this point because you want to win a game. You want to kind of establish your culture. And I know it's not the NFL culture, but I think from a fan's perspective, I think the season is chalked. And I think it's time for them to start really scouting hard and trying to rebuild this unit. It's going to take a lot to build up this team and get them where they want to go in the future.